CNN. Russia's invasion pitted Ukraine against a country with a massive army and one of the largest economies in the world. Ukraine has largely managed to maintain the fight thanks to nearly $350 billion in aid since January 2022, mostly from Western countries. There are now fears, particularly from the United States, Kyiv's key military backer, that the tap may begin to flow less freely. After a heated spending debate nearly shut down the U.S. government, Congress last week passed a stopgap funding bill cutting funding for Ukraine in an effort to appease some hardline Republicans. While move wasn't enough, conservatives who impeached former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy for failing to cut spending further. It was a blow Ukraine, which is heavily dependent on Western aid to turn the tide of war. Hundreds of billions of dollars in promised aid are arriving in various stages over several years. But the counteroffensive aimed at removing Russia from Ukrainian territory is entering a critical phase. To better understand the geopolitical debate behind support for Kiev, CNN analyzed how international aid to Ukraine accumulates. Nearly $100 billion in military aid to Ukraine. Countries around the world have pledged nearly $100 billion in direct military aid to Ukraine. Almost half of this comes from United States, according to data from the Kiel Institute for World Economy through July 2023. According to data, the U.S. Congress has approved approximately $46.6 billion in direct military aid to Ukraine since NATO countries began organizing support for Ukraine a month before the full-scale invasion. This is part of a total $113 billion aid budget for both defense and civilian needs. However, not all of them are planned to go directly to Ukraine. Part of these funds will be used to replenish the U.S. military's previous donations of weapons and ammunition and to assist other countries affected by the geopolitical situation. European Union countries have collectively pledged $38 billion in direct military support to Kiev. The biggest contributions were made by Germany, Denmark and Poland. The United Kingdom has pledged more than $7 billion in direct military aid. Some of the highest-cost military donations include anti-aircraft anti-ship missiles, weapons detection radar systems, minesweepers and patrol boats, helicopters, multiple launch rocket systems. According to the Kiel Institute, a fair comparison, the United States has pledged the second-largest amount of money to help Ukraine. Overall, including military, financial and humanitarian aid, after the European Union, which has sent about $85.1 billion in total. According to Kiel Institute data, this figure does not include contributions from individual EU member states counted separately. But data show that, unlike some of Ukraine's smaller allies, Washington's contributions amount to 0.3% of GDP. The Baltic countries, which border Norway and Russia, devote a larger share of their wealth to war. Account.